Okay, good afternoon all. We have some news coming up about 15 minutes after the market opens today. Market officially opens in just over 3 minutes. So I hope everyone is well. Hope everyone had a good trading day yesterday. I think I had one trade? Yeah, I had one trade yesterday. So far so good. So I've had about 8 actual trading days. I think there was a couple of days that I missed. Nomad, good morning. How you doing? Let me just have a look. Trading day wise. Account summary. Yes, there's my account summary. I've actually traded 8 days. We had Martin Luther King Day, and I think there was a day where we had some problems with Rhythmic, I think. So far, so good. Drinking coffee. I've just had mine. There it is. I've just been into town this morning and bought some nice fresh coffee beans. So I've had a Java this morning. Well, just about 20 minutes ago. So 6:30. That's the beauty about trading in the UK. It's just coming up 2:30 in the afternoon. So if you don't like getting up early in the morning, it's a great place to trade the ES or NQ or anything like that. So yesterday we had, I think I finished around about here, and it was pretty much sideways. And then we had a rally, which we often do sometimes. We had a rally, and if there's any trades there for the rest of the day, really. Let me think. I may have taken, I'm not sure about that. Let's have a look. Was there anything there? 2 legs back and a higher low I usually go for. It wasn't a great deal of setups, really, I don't think. 2 legs back, not a great deal. There wasn't a huge amount. The first part of the day, in all fairness, wasn't very good. I think I took a failure here, which shot down in the end. But it wasn't the best of days. You know, we certainly have a lot better. It was quite choppy. If you bunch it up like that, pretty much the same the day before, really. It was just like it looks like a bad heart attack, doesn't it, in all fairness? So there you go. So let's see what sort of day. But we've had quite a strong open. So it'd be interesting to see how the news affects this and whether we continue on up. But looking at the daily quickly, I had a feeling that yesterday was going to be pretty much a range day, but it was up until I left, and then we had that bit of a rally, and we've opened strong and pushed up this morning. So whether we do get a strong push now, who knows, really. It still could come down and retest this, but it does seem to be quite far away now, so I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. So let's see what the news has in store for us. Market officially opens in about 30 seconds. News is about 15 minutes after it. So probably not going to take a trade. It could just, you may get into something and it may start going sideways. So I'm just going to sit tight and keep an eye on that. So, Indy, how you doing? Armanas, how you doing? You've got your coffee there, I can see. Jay, maybe a spike and channel hap. Yeah, I've had a look at this. I've tried it a few different ways. I've tried it from here. It's hard to say. Market's open now. Maybe sometimes when it's like this, after the market's been open 10 or 15 minutes, if it comes back here a few times then, but I don't know at the moment. And the reason I don't know is because it fits really nice in there. So we've had a break, 2 pushes up to a new high, and we're retesting again. So I don't know whether it is or not. Maybe. It's hard to say, but sometimes it just, the thing is, when the market officially opens, obviously there's a lot more volume comes in, so sometimes then it starts to build a pattern, and you get a bit of a better picture exactly what's going on. But at the moment, it's not mega clear. So I don't know, maybe it is a spike in chat. I don't know. I'm not a fan of this, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to sit tight at the minute and just say we've had a channel with a break and a new high. So Rodian, how you doing, buddy? Ardnan, how are you? Speedy, how you doing, buddy? So this looks like 2 legs back. So whether we're going to get, I mean, really looking at the daily, it is possibly we could get a really strong move up today. You just never quite know, but if we can get some positive news, we may go. So we've had a break, 1, 2 or 3 pushes up to a new high. We've come back up to retest this. So there is a possibility, obviously, with this news event pending. Pretty much looks like it's, let's have a look. I think there's a good chance we could just go a little bit sideways, leg and leg, or we could continue up. Who knows? There's no point in taking anything until the news has happened, because it might just continue to do this at the moment, so we just have to sit tight. I was going to tell you guys something. I can't remember what it was now. No, I'm assuming you guys know about the 80% off. We've got the 80% back on and 1 day minimum to pass, or maximum to pass. You only need 1 day. But if you're going to do that, I'd still, personally, I still don't know how I feel about that 1 day. I think sometimes it can encourage you to try and push your luck a bit. So if I was you, if you're going to do that, I'd say just take your time, or, you know, I mean, I usually like to pass mine a bit quicker, but maybe a few days. But at least you've got no limit. If you do happen to have a few good trades and you trade a little bit more, then maybe it might not be too bad. But it's back on anyway up until the end. Is it the 29th, I think? So we've got about 5 more days. So my code's down there, UKFT, if you need it. If you use it or you have used it, it's appreciated. So, high or low there, I'm staying out at the minute. Do I think it's going to push up? Possible. But we have made a new high and we've had 2 legs up. So I'm just not taking anything because it could come and stitch you. We've already made a new high, so it might go up, but it could equally come down. This kind of looks like it might be a bit bullish, but I stay out of these. I'm not a fan of picking tops and bottoms. I'd rather that bar or the bottom of it sat on top of that line if I'm going to be interested in that, but it's just too close to the news. If you get stuck, there's nothing worse than it going like that for the next 15 minutes and you're stuck. So we just sit tight. See, we have had this up and 2 legs back, so we could continue on up. It's kind of a nice correction, that, but it really does depend on what this news tells us. If the news is positive, then I think it may continue on up. This looks like we're coming down for a second leg now. Kind of a nice bearish bar there, so I don't expect that bar to hold if we break below these here. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to. So if you took that one, I have a feeling it's going to hit that stop. It looks to me like it's sucked longs in there, triggered. I expect that to turn now pretty rapidly. Or not. It's quite unusual for one to go up and one to come down, so okay, so we've got a leg down, 2 attempts to go higher. Interesting. I thought that was going to be a bearish bar and come down then. Maybe it will. So we've got a leg down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. I expect this to break this bottom now, for sure. I'd put money on it. I'm not getting involved anyway. This looks like it's coming down. So we've had that channel, we've had a break, we've had a new, we got a new high here, so we've got a leg and a leg. So, but obviously we've got this news pending, so we ain't doing nothing. So we get a lower high here. I'd like to see that trigger and then come down. So let's have a look at this. That's really interesting, that is. I do believe this is going to come down and break the lows here. So we're going to leg down, 2 attempts. I'd like to see that break higher than this and then come down. Hey Sam, how you doing, buddy? You trading today, Sam, or at work? Excellent. You try. Oh, you are. Yeah, good. Good on you, mate. Be interesting to see what sort of day we have. Whether it's holding along here anyway so far, but this looks like it's coming down. So I pretty much expect this to follow. But obviously we got this news coming up in about 10 minutes ish. So it may just do a little bit of sideways. I still think it's going to break these lows because this looks bearish at the moment, and it's holding. But I do expect that to break below here. I'm off to pick my haggis up tonight. Picking up from Sainsbury's. We'll be having that tomorrow. Anybody doesn't know, it's Burns Night tomorrow. I'm not sure if you US guys know much about Burns Night, do you? I can't remember. I remember talking about it last year. You're not uncertain. So there may be some longs. I doubt there's many longs in here, but I certainly expected a break below here. I was at a billions. Oh, yeah. I've got 2 more episodes to watch tonight, and that's it. I'm finished. So season 7, where they take down Prince. It's actually really good. It's a brilliant series, I've got to say. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's just a damn shame they're not making any more after season 7. But I do believe season 7 sews everything up, so it's all done and dusted. But it's great. It really is. I've been glued to it at times. Okay, I expected that. So leg and leg. How far we come down or whether we continue, who knows. But this is bearish, so I'm pretty confident that's going to come down. Maybe just trap a few more longs before we do. Let's see if that triggers. If it does, out the bottom. I did watch that other programme, Fool Me Once. It was okay. Not brilliant. I just didn't think she played a really good part. Michelle Keegan. She's a bit little and petite to start throwing people around, so... but it was watchable, not brilliant. But I did like Billions, I've got to say. Absolutely brilliant. There's some fantastic characters in there. If you haven't watched Billions, absolutely watch it. There's some great characters in there. It's about trading, basically. They trade for a hedge firm. Hedge fund. There's sort of loads of dodgy sort of, illegal moves and all this sort of stuff. Lots of insider trading. But it's really good. It's really good. Excellent. Brilliant characters. Oh, you are kidding me. 15 Apex orders. Have you gone into your positions? Make sure you go into your positions. Check that's empty. And this, failing that, first and foremost, get into your Apex account and click flatten everything. Just do whatever you can, mate. Oh, I hate hearing about stuff like that. I really do. Make sure that position's in Eurythmic. Any positions are closed. There'll be a red cross there. If they're live or whatever, click the red cross. Just do everything you can. Sometimes when you restart NinjaTrader, make sure anything there, flatten everything, and in the orders, cancel everything. If they're there but not in Eurythmic, just restart NinjaTrader. Good luck, mate. Okay, so lower high there. That one never triggered, but I expect that one to come down. Certainly to make 2 points, but I'm staying out of it at the moment because obviously we got this news. So where's 2 points? Would be there. I dare say there'll be some longs quite likely trapped, but it never triggered that, so maybe not. Maybe they just buy. Trouble is, we got the news pending, so you just never quite know. They are not open in Rhythmic. Stuck on NinjaTrader. Okay, just make sure they're closed. Cancel all orders and flatten everything. If there's nothing there in the orders and positions, just restart NinjaTrader, and that should get rid of them. Just shut it down, restart it. Let us know how you get on. God, that's all you bloody need, especially when you've got the news approaching. Restarting. A lot of the times, if I've had it before, when you restart it, it gets rid of them. They're gone. Yeah, it is. At least you got rid of them, mate. Just make sure you have your positions and orders tabs on your screen, or that you can see them, and make sure you've got that, because that's how you shut them down in NinjaTrader, and that's how you shut them down in Rhythmic, as you know. But if for some reason they're still showing, so that would have made 2 points. If for some reason they're still showing, just restart NinjaTrader. A lot of the times that gets rid of it. It's worked for me. Okay, so the news isn't up yet, which is a bit strange, but oh, it is. Yes, it is. Sorry, tell a lie. I thought it was 3 o'clock. Oh my God, good job I didn't get in that. It would have worked having said that, but nothing really terrible. We had that bit of a spike down, and then we sort of recovered. So nothing major. So let's just pop that out of the way for a minute and just let anything settle. Oh God, I had this in my head that it was 3 o'clock for some odd reason. Yeah, what I do, mate, if you ever open an order, open it up here somewhere, right out the way. You probably do anyway, but just in case, I always open. So if I ever have an order, I put it up there. So if something goes wrong, I've got a little bit of distance to be able to deal with it.
Order cancelled.
God, I hate it when we have problems. It is scary. You really just don't want it. Trading's stressful enough as it is without having to worry about stuff going wrong. I've had a pretty good run of it, but lately I don't know what it is. Every time you look on Facebook or whatever, you're reading about someone, something going wrong with Ninja Trader, or obviously Rhythmic seems to be the problem, but it does happen in Ninja Trader sometimes, which is unnerving, because if you had your own account and thousands in there and you were trading 10 or 20 contracts, I'd like to know where we stand actually with Ninja Trader. If Ninja Trader goes wrong and you lose a ton of money, do Ninja Trader compensate you? They should do, really. I mean, if I paid $1,000 for to use Ninja Trader and it goes wrong and costs me a lot of money, do they compensate you? I really don't know, because I've spent most of my time trading with prop firms. We'll have in terms. I'm going to have a look, really. I actually bought the license when I first started trading, but in all fairness, I've barely used it. So I'm going to trade I set my max daily loss. It will liquidate my positions. Yeah, it's probably worth doing that, I'd say, with the broker's responsibility. You'd think so, wouldn't you? I mean, if you got 40 contracts up here and something triggers or something goes wrong with it and you lose, $5,000 or whatever, but they copy both places. It's something I'm going to have a look at. But yeah, it's probably not a bad idea. Mind you, see, I trade 2 contracts. If I have 2 losses, I shouldn't lose any more than about $700 a day. So if I set my max to $800, at least if something goes drastically wrong that I can't shut down, at least I've got a bit of a chance of making my losses, certainly limiting them rather. So we've got a touch, and a touch. So far, that's looking like we may be coming down, but it may just be 2 legs and then up again. It's hard to say at the moment. See what happens here. Let's have a look. So we got the break, 2 pushes up to a new high. We made another new high, 2 legs down, a little bit of sideways. So is this price is above the EMA at the moment, but there is a bearish bar there, so I never worry about it on my personal account, because in 5 years it is. I'd never. Oh really? Oh, well, that's good to know, mate. It's a monthly occurrence with Apex and Rhythmic. Yeah, I like to think that I would like to trade my own account eventually, whether it's in 6 months, 12 months, 2 years. But it'd be nice to have your own money. I believe you can trade your own pot and trade Apexes and just, use Apex for a bit extra, really. At least if something goes wrong, it's not money that you've put in personally, apart from, the fees to pass the evaluation and to pay for the PA account. So, I mean, imagine putting money of your own in and something going wrong, but that's good news. I'm pleased to hear that, mate. I'd like to look into trading my own pot. Once I can manage to build something, maybe stick an extra $5,000 in and trade another contract or 2. So, yeah, that's good to know. So what broker do you use? Chris, do you use a Ninja Trader's own? Because when I first started trading a few years ago, I think it was Philip Capital. There was 2 options when you sign up with Ninja Trader. I think it was Philip Capital and something else, if I remember rightly. Or if it never started with Apex, it's like trading and playing Russian roulette. Yeah. I'm starting to get that feeling it is a little bit. I think it's good for newbies and experienced traders to get those emotions working, to try and learn to deal with them, get them out your system. But yeah, I mean, if you're trading your own money, Yeah, I think ideally you work to trade your own money. It'd be nice to trade my own money and maybe just have maybe 10 accounts on the side with Apex. But I don't know if you trade them both together, can one affect the other if something goes wrong? But it's something I'm going to have to look into. First step in the process, I think. Sim, eval, PA, personal funds. Sounds perfect. Sounds perfect. And obviously you make a bit of money from Apex and then you start to build your own account up. I like the idea of Apex because if I can get 10 accounts and make $2,000 per account, it's quite a chunk of money. To make $20,000 a month, you have to put a fair old chunk of your own money in there. So at least it gets you to the level where you can start to get a little bit of capital behind you and then sort of carefully and sensibly trade your own. Use Tradeovate, which is now merged with Ninja. Oh, is it really? Oh, okay. I didn't realise how big Ninja Trader was. I mean, I'm sure somebody told me said it was the third biggest platform for trading futures. I'm not sure. But that's interesting. Okay, there is a failure there, but it's too close to the bottom, and at the moment this is going up. Or it's looking like it, so you just don't know what's going to happen. That may trigger and it may come down, so I'm not getting involved in any of those bars there. Although this does seem to be coming down, this is giving me a different picture at the moment, so it may go sideways or... I don't think it's that, in all fairness. Let's leave it there anyway, but let's have a look. In Trader bought Tradeovate. Okay, yeah, it seems to ring a bell there. So when you use an InTrader as a broker, automatically copies your trade onto... Oh, I see. I got you. I mean, I paid $1,000. Well, actually, it was £1,000 when I first started using NinjaTrader a little over 2.5 years ago. I kind of never really used it. I used it initially just as a way of losing my own money. It's very effective at losing money when you know. I think I lost about £5,000 of my own money in about 3 different lump sums. So it's very, very efficient at doing that. My personal account is NinjaTrader with COG. I think you mentioned that the other day, didn't you, Chris? Oh, CQG, sorry. NinjaTrader clear as a broker. It is a reliable. I don't even bother with the back. Oh, yeah, brilliant. That's good to know anyway. It's good to know. I think the prop firms are a means to an end, aren't they? It's a way of getting you in. Like Sam says, sim, eval, PA, and that gets you hopefully earning some money, and then maybe you can make a bit of money from NinjaTrader, from Apex, which will give you a nice little monthly wage where you sort of slowly then you can build your own personal pot up. Because let's face it, having 10 accounts, when you can trade and you can control the emotions, having 10 accounts and withdrawing $2,000 a month isn't really that difficult. It's certainly doable. That's if you can, obviously, you've got the skills to trade and you've got the emotional, contact to be able to, the emotional connection, under wraps. It's not difficult. But to earn $20,000 with your own pot, it needs to be quite a sizable pot, really, wouldn't it? You'd think, really, you'd need somewhere in the region of $100,000 in there, wouldn't you, really, to be able to make $20,000 a month, which is just, well, let's face it, I certainly couldn't do that. I don't think many people have got 100,000 sat around, doing nothing, really. I run 3 different computers and 2 separate internet connections just to try and stop a disaster. Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying there, mate. Yeah, it is really like walking on a tightrope with crocodiles one side and snakes and sharks the other side, really, isn't it? I suppose that the one thing that makes it bearable is if you have a PA, it's only really cost you $140 and the price of an evaluation. So if something does go seriously tits up, you've lost the price of an evaluation and a PA account, which you don't want, but it's certainly it would certainly stop you from swinging from a rope, wouldn't it? Because if you lost a ton of your own money, I mean, like Wilson. I think Wilson lost somewhere in the region of about $40,000. If you lost $40,000 of your own hard-earned money, you would be absolutely seething. Whereas Wilson is able to deal with it because it probably only costs him about 3,000, which is still a lot of money. But, you know, 500, yeah. 500 per mini, isn't it? And 50 per. So, you know, I don't know what, I mean, if you guys, you more experienced guys, I mean, Chris, I know you've been trading for at least 5 years, so you got a couple of years on me there. What do you trade? See, I obviously trade max style, which is quite high probability trades. So you wouldn't have that maybe 50% win, 50% loss, but you go in for maybe you're risking 1 to make 3. So what would you guys say would be a fair risk percentage? If you were, see, at the moment, I'm trading a little over 90%, so you wouldn't expect to lose many trades in a row, whereas, you know, some strategies, you may lose 3, 4 or 5 in a row, but when you win, you're earning 3 times. So, you read about 1 to 3%. I have heard some people saying up to 5% with futures. I don't really know. What do you guys think? If you were trading your own money, percentage-wise, what would you risk? Would you risk 2, 3, or would you risk 5? You're a much better trader with your own money. Yeah. No tilt. It's real. Yeah. I agree with that. Now, what I'll say, Jay, and what do you think of this? When you're trading with Apex, you've got a PA account, you start with 0. So you've got nothing to lose. And when you've got nothing to lose, you'll take more risks. You know, if we've heard of these boxing matches where you get an unknown, he's got nothing to lose, has he? He can go in there and start swinging and take a bigger risk. But the experienced guy who's the champion, you've got to be a little bit more careful. So I always think you're going to take more risks if you've got nothing to lose. And we start with 0, but when you start to build money and you have money, then you start to be a little bit careful. So I agree with you. I always think if you use your own money, you're going to be more careful because, as you say, you're talking real dollars. You know, if these 2 PA accounts have cost me $280 plus 60, so $350, say I've got $350 tied up with there. It's not a lot of risk. So you may tend to take risks that you wouldn't normally. Also makes it seem like the finish line is 2,600 a pair. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You're growing from day one, aren't you, really? But Apex got me through 2 years of... Yeah, they definitely serve a purpose, in all fairness. Or as frustrating as it can be sometimes with these problems, there's no way, really, we can learn without them. Because you have to experience risk to be able to learn to deal with emotions. And if you trade your own money, literally 2,000-3,000 at a time, you'd lose a fortune, wouldn't you? I like 1-to-1 on my mat scalps. Just one contract, 50 PA. Yeah. I've tried both. What I will say is one contract for me seems to take forever. And as I'm only really got $150 plus the price of an evaluation, I don't mind going for 2 contracts because, I mean, you've still got to lose something like 8 trades in a row, really, on 2 contracts. And if you're losing 8 trades in a row, you're clearly not ready to trade. Whereas at the moment, you know, I'm nice and careful at the moment. And my win percentage is, now bearing in mind this is both accounts together, but my win percentage is, it's a little over 90%, I think. 91.5%. There's 2 portfolios here, so, but I've only had 1 loss in 12 wins per side, so as long as I can keep sort of around about the late 85s to 90, even trading 2 contracts, it shouldn't theoretically give me a major problem. And once I get to that 2,600, that risk then starts to slowly decrease. As my account goes up, the risk starts to slowly decrease. So that's interesting. This looks like it's going up. but it is sideways and choppy, so is this. So really, I'm just sitting tight here a minute. Yeah, I kind of like 1-to-1 as well, but I settle for 2 points at the moment, which is just a little under that, isn't it? I mean, I suppose at the moment your average risk probably today with the ATR as it is around about 2.5 points. I like to think my average risk is around about the 2.75 points. Obviously, it can be a bit lower than that, but it can be a bit higher, 2.7 to 3 points. On the odd occasion, I do go for a little bit more, but the picture's really got to be right. If we had a nice leg up and a really nice two-legged correction, a higher low, I may go for 3 or 4 points, but it doesn't often happen. But yeah, I think 1-to-1's it's quite a good balance, that, isn't it? But I have seen younger Moo. He's changed a bit now, but he was scalping for a point and he was just getting slaughtered. I mean, to scalp 1 point in today's market with the average risk being 2.5 times that, you've got to be one hell of a trader, really. You need to be in the 85, 90%. It's just not. You're not going to make any money, or you're not going to have a hope in hell, really. But yeah, I agree, Jay. It's Apex is a great way of learning and having risk, because you have to experience the emotions, otherwise you're never going to get used to them. But it limits the amount of money you lose. You are going to lose money. There's no two ways about it. But nowhere near as much as if you were literally trading your own, because if you wanted to trade one contract, you've at least got to put $500 in, and I mean, you'll pace through that in no time, won't you, when you're learning? So at least this way it gives us access. And I mean, even if you since September last year, you are trading better than most of the other max students. You often win 3 or 4 net trades per week. When I'm in a good place, things work okay. But I've been here before where I think, but what I will say is, since I had that break at Christmas, I feel very different. I used to just jump in and take stupid trades sometimes at the end of streaming. I've got no urge to do that at all. So far, I get the feeling, because I've spoken to other traders who can trade, and they've said at some point you'll just give up, you'll just stop fighting the markets, and you'll give in and you'll sit and take a trade, and that's it. So I feel like I'm there now, but I've been, you know what I mean, I've been here before, but this does feel different. And the reason it does is because I had that 10 days off at Christmas, which I've never had. I've never taken so much as more than 3 days off before. So, so fingers crossed, but I have no urge, none at all, to jump in randomly. I close my chart down. I'm quite happily walk away, but I have had a good run. In the last 2 weeks, I've lost 1 trade. So as we all know, while you're winning trades, everything feels great. It's how you deal with it when you have a loss. So I'm just trying to, take my time, take a trade, and inevitably I'm going to have a loss or two in a day. So I'm just going to, I sort of kind of trying to prepare myself for it. But I think my skill level's enough to make money now, so all I need to be able to do is, if I take a couple of losses, is just to walk away. If I can walk away for the day, come back tomorrow, I think I'll be golden. But, it's easier said than done, so I'm not counting my chickens just yet, but fingers crossed. I suppose it's how much time you put in. I'm a bit obsessive about stuff. I spend a lot of time, and I have done, I changed my job around to be able to trade, so I do get a bit obsessive, which frustrates my wife at times, but it's just sort of how I am, really. But fingers crossed. So this is just a bit of an overshoot, I would have said. It's hard to say at the moment. It could end up just being a bit of a range. Be interesting to see if we get a break, a new low and a push up. Like trading money, you can get. It's funny you should say that. She said to me, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, Rachel, my wife anyway, she said to me, she went, the only thing that concerns me about you starting, if you do make really good money, that you find someone else. So it's crossed her mind as well. You might have been speaking to my wife, I think. But I was looking at places in Dubai again last night, dreaming a bit. There was a woman from the UK who's moved to Dubai. She's a teacher, and her husband, some tech support guy. And it was going through the breakdown of what things cost. All your bills and your rents and stuff. And I think for the two of them, I think they got a child and a dog, and they get their accommodation, they get the rent in their house and their childcare free. But if you had to buy it, they worked out, including everything, it was about £5,500 British pounds per month. And that included just under £600 British pounds for a maid, just under £600 for the monthly purchase of a car, because it worked out cheaper than renting. That was including about £230 for this entertainment pass that allows you to go use all the facilities in all the 5-star hotels every weekend, all the pools and all that. So, they didn't scrimp and save. So if you had to pay the rent and you had to pay for your cleaner and everything else, food and accommodation, it was costing them around about just under £5,500. But I would say if you earn £12,000 a month, so if you had six accounts, let's say you had 8 accounts, that's $16,000. So let's say over 12,000 British pounds, you would pay £5,500 in tax alone. So what I'm saying is, if you can earn $16,000 a month, just with what you pay tax would keep you living in a place like Dubai. Whether we'll ever do it or not, I don't know. But it's always been my dream since I started trading. Whether it'll happen, obviously I got my wife to consider, and I got a 15-year-old daughter as well. She's probably going to have her say. But it just inspires me, gives me a bit of a push, and I just want a little bit of excitement in my life, So you don't need to earn a fortune to be able to live there and just live off what you pay tax. And the tax is extortionate in the UK. I think if you earn above, I think it's 75,000 a year, 65,000 a year, you pay nearly 50% of your money to the tax. It's horrendous. Trouble is, that's the thing with the financial type guys who earn money from a computer can just turn, once they earn a certain amount, they just disappear. So there was a higher low there. I was chatting and not focusing. So after that overshoot, I'd probably have taken that at least back to the EMA. But I wasn't focusing at the time. So I'd have probably gone for a 1.5 there, which would have taken us to there, to push through there. So it's clearly an overshoot, that. Touching, and 1, 2, 3, 4. It's working beautifully. Not many trades work that, channels work that nice. So it's clearly an overshoot, 2 legs back. And then when we have this sort of bit of a bottoming pattern and a higher low, I should have taken that, but I wasn't focusing, so... Let's see if we get 2 legs back, because I still expect to get a bit higher. Another wife. When you say another wife, you mean a different one. I'm going to say it's hard enough having one wife, let alone having more than one. Do I want to go long here? The trouble is we're quite far from the EMA, so I would expect this quite soon. Mark Fremer, I appreciate channel. Thanks very much. Where are you from? You're a new face. I've not seen you before. Where are you from, Mark? I've not heard that surname before. It's an unusual surname. Okay, so if we can get 2 legs here, I expect another leg up. And ideally, if we can get 2 legs back to the EMA, this, to me, looks like it might be ranging. It's a bit rangy to me, so let's put that like that. So, would I want to go long into that? Where are you from, Mark? Where are you from? Just curious. I just like to think everyone else lives in a warmer place compared to the UK. Okay, so this looks like your first entry, so Arizona, okay, then that just sounds like it's baking hot. Pretty much sure that's desert, isn't it? Excellent, so I'm guessing are you warmer? You're bound to be a bit warmer, aren't you? It's actually quite mild in the UK today. We've got 10 degrees centigrade where I am. And to be honest with you, about 3 days ago it was -6, so it's quite a culture shock at the moment. Okay, so nothing there setup wise. 8 o'clock. Yeah, that's the beauty about trading in the UK. You don't have to get out of bed early. Yeah, unfortunately, no setup. I had a fair idea it was going to do that after this overshoot, a leg up and a leg, but there wasn't no setup, unfortunately. That was a bit of a doji, or close to, and it was below the EMA a little bit. But trouble is, with this channel here, we've gone quite close to the tops. But I would have taken a trade if it was okay, but we're nearly at the tops now. So, Arizona. We're close to this area now, see. So, let's have a look at this. Leg up. 1, 2 legs back. During the summer, it gets up to 48. Wow, that is warm. I've got to say, was it last year? Was it last summer or summer before? Summer before, we had 42 degrees, which is a hot stone record in the UK by about 3 or 4 degrees. And that was something else. The thing is, you guys in the US, obviously live in warmer climate. I think you generally, 42. That is hot for the UK, to be honest with you. The hottest I remember it is about 38. But yeah, it was something else. And we had, I think we had late 30s for about a week and a half. So it was, it was proper hot, especially for us UKers. We're not used to high temperatures, especially when you haven't got air conditioning or a pool. But yeah, you US guys, I think most of you, well, it's certainly a lot more common, isn't it, having air conditioning? You just don't have it over here. You have it in shops, maybe hotel rooms, but apart from that, not really. We just get a fan, and as you know, all that does is it just blows hot air at you. So, but yeah, 42. That's hot for the UK. But I don't know, people that come to the UK say they love our weather because we have a mix. But when you've had a really hot summer, it's kind of nice to get those nice crisp nights, where you go out in the morning and there's a bit of snow on the ground and it's all crisp. But then when you've had a cold winter, you kind of look, as spring comes. So I suppose we get a good balance of sort of hot and cold, really. I suppose if you live in a hot climate all the time, it's probably going to be a bit taxing. This, to me, looks like a perfect bull flag. Push up sideways. So I would say this is going to go quite a bit higher based on that daily, it certainly can do. It's 14 today. In fact, it's very similar to the UK. We've got 10 degrees C at the moment, but 14 is quite mild, isn't it? Probably not for you guys. It's probably freezing cold, isn't it? But yeah, it's not too bad, is it? This does look like a really nice bull flag. I'd like to retest this top before we push higher. But I think this is going to... It may be a channel there. So, one leg, two leg. Has that made a measured move? Yeah, it probably has actually. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Yeah, I'm not taking that way too far from the EMA. It might work. This looks okay, but it's just way too far from the EMA. That's got risky written all over it for me, that has. But I do think we're going to make some more upwards stuff today. Okay, let's see if that gets stopped out. That does look like it's bouncing off this top, doesn't it? Trouble is, if this is a channel, I'd really rather come back here, or at least closer to the EMA, before I think about going along. So that to me is a risky long. I think you could say it's a failure, but I don't know. It's just too far from the EMA. Yeah, you wouldn't even get half a point off that, I don't think. Let's see if that does get stopped out. I'll be shocked if it doesn't. Okay, if we do continue up, I'd like that to test that line. So this to me looks like it's lightly, well at the moment it does anyway, going to come around, test this line, or touch the EMA, or even there's a possibility it could come back in, failed breakout. But this does look like a bull flag, so I would expect that to continue out. Yes, if you took that one, you got stuffed. It's just had danger written all over there. It's close to the top of the range. It's miles away from the EMA and the bottom of the channel. So it is a failure, but it's just risk, that is. There's a time where I'd have taken that one, but I'm just wise to him now. So possibly second entry long. Inside bar, I'm not interested in that. Does look like a second entry long. But no. People put some strange things on this Discord. Strange. Okay, leg. Let's come down here. If we get 2 legs down, then I'd say there's a good chance that's going higher, personally. It does look like a bull flag, and I would expect that to continue on up. Hidden second entry long there. Ooh, that's very tempting. That's very tempting. The trouble is, this is a bit congested. So I'm staying out of that at the moment. Yeah, the bar's not brilliant anyway, but it did look like a hidden second entry long. But this is congested, so it could come back a bit. We can have leg down, sideways, leg down, so I ain't getting involved here. What I'd like to see is a leg, and then maybe something like that. Leg and a leg, and then... Let's see. It may work. I don't know at the moment. I don't like this. So that would take us close to the... Sorry about that. Close to the bottom of the... just below here. Yeah, it just looks like it's sucking longs in there. There's a second entry long there. To be fair, 1, 2, 3. There's 4 bars back to back congested. Now, it might work, but we are a bit far from the EMA and the top of that channel, so I think there's a good chance that's going to come down and stop out that. And if it does come down, forget that. It's not triggered anyway. And I don't like it when it leaves that stem on the bottom. So there's a first entry. If we can come down to here, and then here. Yeah, I'm definitely not taking that. Might work, but this looks like a little leg with a break. I'd like a leg and a leg before I got in there. It might work. Perhaps it will, but it's too rich for my blood. If we can get a higher low here, and it looks like we're going to break above here, then that may interest me. But there's a leg down, so I'm not getting involved there. Maybe trap some shorts here, hopefully. That'd be nice. No offence to the shorts. I'd like to see a bearish bar there and for to trigger. $5.10, yeah, you're only an inch smaller than me. Inch is nothing, unless it's a penis. An inch is a massive amount then. Yeah, 5.11. Okay, that bar's triggered. It's not the most bearish bar out there. And at the moment, this looks like it may come back for a second leg. So this could come back. And to be honest with you, it's tempting to take that. But the trouble is, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, an inch is not much. Depends, obviously, whereabouts it is, of course. If that breaks above there, then I think that'll push up. So this might be okay, yeah.
Order submitted.
It's a bit far from the EMA for me. If I thought this looked like it was going to break above there, I may be interested in it, but this looks like it's going to come down.
Order cancelled.
So I'm staying out of that. It hasn't triggered yet anyway. It doesn't look like it's going to, but we got two legs up, leg back, break, high or low. I just don't know here. We could have a leg and a leg. We haven't broken above the highs yet, so we could have a leg and a leg. And that to me is one little micro channel, so I don't class that as a leg, a break and a leg, because it fits really nicely within there. So this is just struggling to get up for me. It might work.
Order
Okay,
filled.
I'm going to go with that because we're not far from breaking there. If we can manage to get above that, I think we're okay. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It's a bit far from the EMA for me personally, but I think we've broken above there, so I'll take a risk there. 2.5 points, so it's not massively. We are at the highs there, but we have got height we can go here, so I think we're okay. I'm happy to take that. I like the way we've come back to the EMA and we've bounced off again with a nice solid bar from the EMA and a higher low which is above here. So I think we're okay there. We got enough height up here. We'll see. Oh. So we trap some shorts here. I'm going to give that one extra tick. See if it saves me bacon. It's going a bit sideways here. I'll give it up worrying about it anyway. It is what it is. You see it, you take it. I like the bar. I like the way it's pushed up and sat on there. 2 legs up, leg back. I like the way that's triggered. If we can get above there, then I'd say we're going to push up again. Okay, that's good news. It's going a bit sideways for me, this is. Let's see if it triggers that, see what happens. That might come back and get us. We'll see. That pushed up nice and strongly, so maybe we're just going to trap some shorts. You bailed out, did you? There's a failure there, which is trap some shorts, so we'll see. I'm happy with the rest. The rest's okay. I would prefer that to be closer to there, but if we can push and break above there, I think we'll be okay. Let's have a look. It is going a bit sideways, but yeah, I don't think it was major news. I'm going to get out of that one, I think. Or shall I? I don't know. It is going a bit sideways, isn't it? It could drop, that's the thing. If we break above there, I think we'll be okay. It is going a bit sideways, but we're still hugging this line, so I still think it's okay. What to do? What to do? It is going a bit sideways now. I hard to know what to do, isn't it, sometimes? NQ on the rise, yeah. Sometimes you've just got to take it and trust it. If we can break above there, I think we'll be okay. It hasn't broke above there yet, has it? What do you do? What do you do? Come on, a couple of ticks. Let's just go with a 1.5. We're right at the highs here.
Target filled.
Okay. Okay, it would have worked. 1 tick, 2 ticks. That needs to go one more tick above there. It's just, I think it's going to, isn't it? One more tick. Yeah, it did. Okay, my issue is it's going like this, but it's quite far from the EMA, so my concern is it comes down. Sometimes you've got to take the trades. Now, in all fairness, it is a bit far from the EMA, but we've gone a bit sideways and slowly grind up. So, looking at that now, it is a riskier trade than if it came back to here, but I thought it was good enough. We look like we're pushing up. This is looking bullish, so sometimes you've just got to do it, haven't you? NQ help. Well, that's why, yeah. It was pushing up, but you know, when you just think it's going like this and you think it's got to come back at some point. So, but that would have comfortably made the 2 points. Everything is shut. So I'm quite happy having 6 ticks on something like that. It is a bit more of a riskier trade from here, but I like the way is we'd pushed above this, we'd come back here and we'd pushed above it again. And there's room up to the highs here. So it's just one of those trades, isn't it? I haven't been hard about it, but I still liked it. So you have to just take it. You know, it's one of those trades that I would expect to work most of the time. But, you know, I think it looked okay. We got this leg back. We pushed up nice and strong. We'd gone sideways. We'd come back and then pushed up and it finished. It was a higher low. I kind of like that one. 2 legs up. We'd come back. You can move that up a fraction. We got a touch, a touch, a touch, and a touch. And after the overshoot, you'd expect to push up. So sometimes you've got to take these trades. Most of the time, I think they'll work. If in doubt, take it out. Well, do you know what? I used to think like that, but I would say probably 75% or more of my trades that I get out go on to make the full 2 points. So I still think it's worth it. And yes, it was going a bit sideways, but it's still held above there. So it's just one of those ones you either feel yeah or no. It would have made the 2 points comfortably, but this to me looks like a bull flag. It's a perfect bull flag. Nice push strong up, loads of sideways. When we get out the top, come back and retest it, which we did a bunch of times, and then it starts to go. So I'd expect that to go up again. And with that going up and this going up, it's continuing on up. It's trapped some shorts there and pushing on up. So it comfortably did what it was supposed to. But it's one of those things, isn't it? But yeah, that's why I like the NQ, because if the picture isn't as clear there, it's clearly not as clear, is it? As far as a bull flag goes, that's perfect. It's a flag, isn't it? There's the pole, there's the flag. You'd expect it to go the same distance to the pole. So if we go from here to here, is it the pole or there? Something like that. And then to there, so I expect that to get up there. And if that's going to pull up there, then this will. So my only slight concern is we get a pullback. But there you go. You've got to take them. You just got to make your decision and take them. The trouble is you don't have a massive amount of time to think. So you've really just got to make a decision, and either you stick with it or you don't. I tend to let my instinct or my gut feelings sort of decide what to do, and I just kept holding back there because it, I just felt like it was going to work. But trouble is, it's all right knowing it's going to go up, but at some point it is going to have a pullback. But it's only just left there, so we'll see. See, I bet on something like the 10,000 tick chart that'll be a leg up, 2 legs back, and then another leg up. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised. If there's a measured move there. So we got a leg down to there. And another leg down. So you could say, I mean, I don't know, it depends. Some might put it from here to here. But we come down, go sideways, push up, and then drop. So, yeah, I mean, depends how you look at that, whether you see that's a measured move. I would say, if you looked at that on the 10,000 tick chart, you may even get, well, let's have a look. Let's see if that looks any clearer. Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, leg, and another. So we got a leg up, 2 legs back, and another leg up. So it is a bit clearer there. Yeah, 1 leg, 2 legs, higher low, which is more or less what I took, and then up. So it's certainly gone up nice and strongly. So. Wait. Let's take. Let's change another one. Tick. Let's change that one. Edit. Yeah, that's a perfect bull flag, that is. I expect that to hit that measured move. Leg up. 1 attempt to go lower. 2nd attempt to go lower. And up we go. So we got a bit of an overshoot there. If you think it's an overshoot. Maybe not. That actually works really nice. So I'm not convinced it is. We'll see. I wonder why the SP has made the biggest run in history in the past 10 weeks. I know. We're smashing all-time highs. We've never been up here before. This is all new territory, this is. Well, I tell you what, a lot of it's to do with we had the news last month, didn't we? And they said there's going to be some rate cuts. So I mean, we've really, up until now, we've had the fallout from COVID. It's, what is it? When's COVID? 4 years ago now. 4 years ago, and we've only really just starting to recover now. But they did announce there was going to be. Did they say 3 rate cuts? Next year, or was it 3 rate cuts in the first half of the year or first quarter? I can't remember. So if you remember when we had that, it responded really well, didn't we? We had that massive push up, didn't we? Then we had a couple of days of sideways, another push up, hit all-time highs twice, and then we had that big drop. So it's just really just recovering from COVID, really. Do you know what? I remember saying to someone when that COVID first hit, this guy was saying, "Oh no, it won't last. It's all, it's all crap. It's all bullshit and all this sort of thing." And I remember saying to him, "This is going to be the biggest financial crisis this country's ever seen," and it really was, wasn't it? It affected everywhere. It's weird. I never thought I'd see something in my lifetime that affected, I mean, we hear stories about things like the Great Plague and the Spanish flu and all that sort of thing. And you think, in this day and age, with all the technology and the medicines and all the things we got, nothing could happen like that. But it just goes to show it doesn't matter how technologically advanced you think a nation is, things can come and cripple you. It killed millions, didn't it, really, if I remember rightly? I don't know how many it killed, but it affected. There was very few places in the world that weren't affected. Yeah, global deaths. Nearly 7 million people. Wow. Apparently, the people that had it were confirmed globally was nearly 773 million people had it, with just under 7 million deaths. Wow. It's bigger than you think when you think on a global scale. Since I'm new, what is the significant watching the NQ? It's just generally, if you look, they're very similar, aren't they? And sometimes when you've got to make a decision, it's nice to sometimes the picture is much clearer on one than the other. So if I'm thinking this looks to me like we're moving up and I'm looking for a long, sometimes the picture can be a little bit distorted. But if you have a look at one of the other indices, like specifically the NQ, sometimes the picture can seem a bit clearer. So for me, that looked like a bull flag. I expected that to push up. That sort of did, but it was more down. So, but it just helps me make better decisions seeing that. So when I was looking to go along there, I want to make sure the picture is the same here. It's giving me the same impression because it's easy to misjudge things, misread a situation. So it just helps me make a better decision. So I'm going to put that back to the way it was and say that might be a bit of an overshoot. So we'll see. This is what I was thinking. I just use that just for a little bit of a reference. Just to check that I'm thinking along the right lines, because it's easy sometimes to misjudge or misread something. Sometimes it's nice to just have someone else, point me in that same direction. So we'll see. So there is a possibility of an overshoot. I'm not massively convinced it is, but no, I don't think there is. We'll see. Regardless, anyway, there's a break, so maybe it is. So I would say that is going to get stopped out there. This is looking like it's coming down as well from this overshoot, so it's hard to say what's going on at the moment. But I think that's a mistake if you take that. So let's just see, maybe we come down and retest this before we go higher. If we go higher, yeah, so there you go. So if you'd have taken that long, it would have stopped you out of that one. I think it's good to assume that we've had the overshoot. So leg and a leg, let's see what happens. Now what is this overshoot going to do? Okay, excuse me, just for 1 minute. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. Yeah, so looking on that daily, it could still go up. Or it could come back. It could come and retest this. I don't know at the moment. So that to me looks like we haven't had a break of that, I don't think. That fits really nice in there, so this is the first break of it, so I probably expect that to push on up, and if it does break this high, get close to this measured leg. So as we know, overshoots can result in a correction, a reversal. So okay, we've had two perfect legs back, and that looks like the same here. So if we can push up and get a higher low here, I'd expect that to push up there. So just gonna have to keep an eye on this. Two legs back, so overshoot correction. Are we going to push higher? I think there's a good chance. Two legs back. So try to go once, try to go twice. There's a failure there that's triggered. There. What did it make point wise? I can't work that out in my head. What that is in old money or in yes terms, but it's triggered anyway. Let's see what happens. That's triggered as well. So leg and leg. That's interesting. So that's triggered that bull bar, leg and a leg, and that's triggered. Let's see if it takes that stop out. It hasn't done, has it? Let's see if that'll hold. Two legs back and a higher low. My only slight concern is we have had an overshoot, so it could result in a reversal. If that's the case, we could come down in this channel, we could break and make a new low from the channel, so I don't really want to be going long just yet. Unless this is giving me a good signal, because this to me on here doesn't look like an overshoot. So I think there's a good chance that that's going to continue on up. Possibly, possibly not. But until we get above it and take out things like these possible stops, I don't want to be taking a higher low there. I'd rather wait till it starts to push up and find something up here. It's hard to say. Last thing I want to do is get trapped. Okay, so that higher low is triggered. Let's see what it does. At the moment, we're still under the EMA, so I'm not thinking about going long. Not that it's going to work, but there is a possible second entry short there, so I'm staying out just at the moment. If this comes down, this won't go up. Midline fits better, not as an overshoot. Another reason that makes me think it's an overshoot is the fact that we've had a break. Now, as we know, overshoots can result in a reversal or a correction. That is a perfect two legs down, so that to me looks like a correction. And it's ironic that it happened as soon as we had what looked like an overshoot. So for that to come out of here, I think there's a good chance that that overshoot was an overshoot. So what I tend to do, I like to assume we've had an overshoot, so don't automatically think about going long. So if it's not an overshoot, you might say, okay, we've had a break, so we've had two legs down, so we're definitely looking to go long. So you may think, okay, high or low, let's go long. And I've done that before, and it triggers you and comes down and stops you out. It's the, what is it, the 21... Is it 23 or 21? 21. Yes, 20. I think it's the 21-day exponential. Someone else will tell you. It's the Pat's one, isn't it? Is it 21 or 23? It's the 21. I'm pretty sure it's the 21 day. See, at the moment, this is struggling to get through that EMA. It might. Okay, it looks like it's pushing up. So if we can get a failure, 21. Yeah, it's a 21-day exponential moving average. Okay, so leg and a leg, and that's pushed up so far. So the trouble is, it could come down here. So we've got a channel down, a break, and a new low. So going long there, I tend to avoid until we can push up a little bit further. So I think personally, it's always best to assume if it looks like an overshoot, assume it is, and I think it stops you from automatically going long. thinking it's just a break. Because if you don't, you'll be thinking 2 legs down, I've got to go long. Well, as we know, they can result in a reversal. In this case, I don't think it's going to. But you just never know. So I tend to assume the worst. And if you assume the worst, you don't go far wrong. So that would have made 2 points. But this could drop. It could. If this looks bullish and maybe we get a bearish bar which traps, I may take the failure. But it's another thing we see after these overshoots. We'll have 2 legs down, it'll come up, attempt to make a new high and then drop. Yeah, this could drop. There's a potentially lower high there, so this could come down. If this finishes bearish, I think there's a good chance this is coming down. Yeah, it is. It looks like it's coming down. If it finishes bearish, there's going to be some stops below here. I mean, look at those. We've got it looks like a double bottom there with 2 bullish bars. If that does come down here, there is a failure there, but for me, I just don't know. I'm a bit curious. This looks to me like we've had a break and we're looking for a new low. So this to me looks like it's coming down. Could do. Let's see. Leg. See what happens. Possible failed second entry long. See what happens. If that comes down below that bar there, this is coming down. And there'd probably been some longs trigger there, so I wouldn't be shocked if that comes down. That's trying to. There's a failed second entry long. Let's see how that finishes. If it finishes below the MAC, that's the thing I like about this, is it moves quicker. 1 minute it looks bearish, then it pushes up and looks bullish. I'd like this to come and close low. Oh yeah, for me that's coming down. So if you took that long there, or the failure, it's still flat. If that comes below there, we're downwards. If, as far as I'm concerned, it looks like it's trying to. Let's have a look. If it gets below there, yeah, we're down. So this is coming down. That's going to get stopped out. I would have suggested. So try go low once. There is a failure there, but it's literally triggered you a couple of ticks. And that's going to stop that out, I think. Yeah, stop that out. Was there some biolas there? So, yeah, see, now if you wouldn't have had that overshoot, I'd say leg, and we're pushing high. It may still go higher. But I think that's why it's always safer to assume we've had the overshoot, because the overshoot can result in a reversal. So this to me looks like a channel with a break, and we may come down and make a new low. Now, if we didn't have that overshoot, I'd say 2 legs back, we're likely to push up and make a new high. So by assuming that, do you know, I've seen it have an overshoot by literally that much, and I've messaged Mac in the past and saying, why didn't that work? He went, because we've had an overshoot. So even sometimes the slightest of overshoots can make the biggest of differences. So we got a channel down there, we got a break and a new low. So this could be a reversal, leg down, leg down. There's still a possibility 2 legs that we could push up, but for me, I'd like to see a lower high there, but we're already below there now. So it did look like it was almost trapping longs there. There'd have been traders definitely took that failure and it triggered, stopped you out. So it just goes to show, doesn't it? And it just goes to show. If you misjudge things, that's why I think I've learned over time, it's better to assume we've had that. So when we work in a channel, we have a break, you don't jump to go long thinking we're going to make a new high. Because that could be the correction, 2 legs, or leg and a leg, that could be the correction. Or it could be a flat out reversal. It's hard to say, really. So we could have leg, and that could go higher. I don't think there's anything larger there. Not a massive fan of that right at the moment. Let's have a look. So there is always the possibility that that's the channel, and we've had a break and a new high, and now we're coming down. Right, we're right at the lows, so taking a short there, trapping those longs is a no-no. Let's have a look. Okay, this looks like it's bottoming here. Get a higher low here back to the EMA. I won't take the higher low because we're not down to these lows here at the moment. If we can get a failure above there, then that might be a possibility. Who knows? It may come down lower. This to me looks like it's struggling. It's a second entry short there, but it's just too far for the EMA. We're quite a bit from the EMA on the NQ, so I really don't want to get into a short here because it could just pop up and then you're going to get stung. Not only that, it's congested. Probably is a few stops below there, leg and a leg. So channel break new low. So let's see what happens here. So I don't know. Perhaps this is a bit of a reversal after this. This looks like it's going to drop to me. It's hard to know whether we're going to push it. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to, while I'm going nearly 2 hours, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break and let it do its thing. It's just going a bit, I'm not sure whether it's going to come for this measured leg and push up or turn up or just come down. I got no idea really at the moment, but let's let it do its stuff. Yeah, see that fits nice. We got a touch here, close enough there. Touch. Fits nice on the backside as well. It visually looks okay, and then we had that strong move up, overshoots. Now, as we know, overshoots can result in a correction or a reversal or whatever else. I can't remember now. So whether it's just going to do a correction and then we're going to push up, or whether it is indeed a reversal. It's hard to say at the moment until we can get here and get above here. But this does look like it's tested the top of this line, so it's hard to say at the moment. It could come up and then continue on down. I've got no idea, so let's get rid of that for a minute. I'm just going to take a 5-minute break, make a quick cup of tea, and I'll bring it back. So I'll just pop that up there, and I will be 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. 2 legs of correction. Maybe we are going higher. Just got to be a bit careful at the moment. Just in case. There is a possibility that after the overshoot we could. I don't think so. Leg down here. No, that does look like we're going up. I don't think that's valid, but I just want to keep an eye on the fact that there is a possibility that we could come down. I don't think we're going to, but I like to just be aware before I think about going along on here. Got a channel up overshoot correction, and this is looking positive so far. But I just want to make sure I'm not misjudging this and we come down 2 legs. Last thing I want to do is go long and it comes back. See what happens here. See if this gets trapped and come down. That's interesting. Let's see if it stops that out. That's my concern because of the overshoot. Maybe this is going to come out, trap some longs and come down. Just not convinced I'm ready to go long just yet. I've noticed the market will do this a couple of times. It'll give you a bullish bar, it'll come back, not stop it out, give you another bullish bar. It almost sucks you in, then you get another tick above it and down it comes and takes out two lots. It does this sometimes. It almost, it gives you that and then it triggers above, it comes down but doesn't stop that out. And then it goes right back up and you think, oh yeah, sound. Two bars now that look really bullish, and then it'll trigger it and then drop. I'm not saying it's going to do it, but I've just seen that happen so many times. It just teases you. It's almost like it sucks you in. I don't know whether it's designed to do that, and then all of a sudden down it comes. So I'm just sitting tight at the moment because of this overshoot. It can result in a reversal. So this may be a bit of a channel with a break, and then it's going to come down and have a new low. So I'm not thinking of going long here because I just have a bit of an uncomfortable feeling that going long is not the right thing to do. Because I've seen the market do this before. Well, it does it all the time. It teases you. If you jump in here, it comes back down, pushes right up strong, and it's like, come on, it's your second chance, you're going to miss out, and it starts to go, and then people jump in, and all of a sudden down it comes and stops out both of them. I'm not saying it's going to do that, but I see it all the time, so if you did jump in there, we got to let it break. Yeah, there you go, see, you know what I mean? So that's why, 2 legs back, you think it's going higher, push out, break new high. That's why I tend to just avoid them, because I get used to now knowing these areas where they're just going to make your life miserable. So that may come down and break a new low, or it might indeed push back up. But same here, we got a nice move up there. Chance of getting up to here. It looks like it may get up to there. The daily's looking nice and bullish. We got a leg up. And another leg up, still distance we go, but because of the overshoot, it just tells me just proceed with caution, because if you take that away and you think, okay, 2 legs back, we're going up, you'll look for an entry there and it'll stitch you up. Same with there. So you may even have that in one shot. In all fairness, it actually works okay. So you might think, there we go, 2 legs back. We're going long here. So, push up, break, little bit of sideways, triggers you. You think, yeah, up we go, triggers you, comes down, stops you straight out. And often then it'll end up going in the same direction. But because of this overshoot, it's just making me be cautious about going long. Same again, second entry long. Just not interested at the moment because it gets trappy, and not only that, that's a little bit of a congestion there. So another reason not to go in. There's support there, you can clearly see that. So I'm just it may work and it may rock it up, but I'm hearing caution at the moment. And this certainly could be a bit of a channel, couldn't it? It probably will go up, but I'm certainly staying out of this at the moment. Look, it could just come down. May trap some longs there, and down we come. And this actually looks now a bit rangy, so there is a failure actually. That might not be a terrible bar to go short. Let's see how this reacts. Second entry long, trapped, failure, clear resistance along there. May come back to here, but at the moment, just being a bit cautious. Very tempting to go short here. Yeah, I'm just sitting tight at the moment. There is a bit of support there. Is it wise going short into that lot? It may work if it goes below there. But at the moment, I'm just staying out. It is a failure, but just excuse me a second. I just don't know. It could go up. We got a leg. It could go up. So I'm just sitting tight at the moment. Did that failure work? So if you got in there, you'd have got a 1.25. It would have to push through. So 1.25. Second entry long. Now the trouble is we're finding some support here, so you can recount that. I just don't know. This looks a bit congested to me. It could go up, it could come down. Okay, it's probably going to come down. Trouble is there's not much room to the lows. Depending on how that bar finishes. Mm-hmm. There's still a possibility it could go up. It's just not filling me full of confidence at the moment. See, after this push up, you don't know whether that it is sort of two legs, but it does fit nicely within that channel. So 2 legs back, this is obviously a bit bigger leg. We could still push up. So I just don't want to be taking a short here. That one I didn't want to take anyway because we're going short into the lows. Doesn't mean it's not going to work. So if you took that one tick below there, you'd have got to... It's close. You may not have. So you put it 1 tick below there, that's about right. Yeah, it wouldn't. You got to push through it to get two ticks, 2 points. So if I was going to take that, I'd expect it to come down to the low, so I'd go for the full 2 points. You just don't know. Sometimes it'll do this. It'll suck you in. So there's something just saying be cautious at the moment because that could push up. Channel 2 legs back. It could push up that, and that's what concerns me. If it pushes up above there, it's game over. I think we're going to push up. It's congested there, and it's congested here. I didn't want to go short into those lows. So I think sometimes you're best off just staying out. It is a bit sideways. Right, we're above this now. That was my concern. If we can get above that, in all fairness, you would probably have that like that. In which case, we've already had a break. So if we had a leg up, push up, new high, lower high, triggered, moving up. Let's see if that gets above here. I can see this market continuing on up. We'll see. I don't like this. It is stacked. That one didn't trigger anyway. That one, if you put it a tick below there, it wouldn't have triggered. Doubtful. It's usually got a tick through the 2 points. I was going to take a trade there. I'd expect it to come down here. I'm not filled with confidence at the moment. This, I don't like the look of. This is clearly congested. So you just don't know what it's going to do. Now, this to me is an overshoot. And as we know, overshoot can result in a correction or a reversal. So it could be 2 legs down and it could push up high. It's hard to say at the moment. But there's going to be shorts in there possibly. So I don't know. I have a feeling this is just going to go whack and up we go. Which is why it's choppy today. It is. It just makes trading a bit more risky. Because we got this leg up. We could get further up today. This is kind of looking bullish, so I don't know. I'm just not thinking of shorts just at the moment. It's just clearly choppy. And I don't want to get sucked into that lot. I'm not saying it's going to work. It could rocket straight down to the bottom here, but this just looks risky to me. I hate it when it comes down really slowly. The bars are quite tightly together because it looks to me almost like traps are forming. I hate it when they're really close like this. Maybe shorts there, possibly there, maybe thinking about coming out with profit down here. I don't know. This just could go either way. Another reason I like this is because it moves quick, and all of a sudden this could turn and push up really quick, and you tend to have a little bit more time here. Yeah, this to me looks like just 2 legs down, retesting the tops, push up, 2 legs back. This looks to me like it's going up. All the more reason not to get sucked into these shorts. I'm not saying it is, excuse me, but it's, I mean, we've had a break, new high, and we've had a really bearish bar which triggered and then turned. So that tells me this probably isn't a channel, and it's probably not going to come down. So I think 2 legs back and just a test of the highs, leg up, a little bit of sideways, another leg up. This to me looks like it's going up, and it's going to take out some short stops there. Maybe some there probably. There's bound to be some along the top here. If this pushes up above there, in fact it's above there now, or is it? Maybe not. Yes, it is. It just looks like it's going up to me, that. And if it does get above here, there we go. So, all the more reason just to stay out of that lot, because you just don't know, do you? If you back out the chart. I missed that. Yeah, I mean, regardless anyway, but we've come down a couple of times. It's almost like a double bottom there. But look at that, then we get a big bearish bar, but that could trigger some shorts and up we go again. So if you took we had a push up, you took the second entry long, triggered, you stopped you out. And then you'll end up getting a big bearish bar. That's what I like about the NQ. It just gives you a big picture quickly. So let's see if that triggers. If that triggers and it pushes up, then I'd say we're going up. But at the moment, God only knows. Oh, excuse me. Now, is this finally our move? Leg, and then up. One, two, three, possibly a triple test. Who knows? It's actually quite choppy today. We're getting a fair amount of this stuff again. We did yesterday, and the latter part, the day before, was even worse. Nothing worse when it's doing that. Leg down, sideways, leg down. Seven-point range the last hour, yeah. Unfortunately, it's not really a lot we can do, is there? It is does get a bit boring. In fact, it doesn't bother me as much as it used to. I know it happens, but I kind of like it in a way because it tests another part of your skills, the patience, because ultimately a lot of the time the difference between people who make money and people who don't is just, down to patience, because, it wasn't long ago I'd been absolutely itching to get into here, I'll be saying, there you go, there's a failure, let's take this. And then what happens? Triggers it, stops you out. But when it goes choppy like that, I've given up even trying to work out what's going on. Tons of traders losing. Yeah, I used to be one of them. I am much better now. It doesn't get to me like it used to. But you know what it's like when you're new. I mean, I've been trading for 3 years now, so I'm getting to the stage where I can pretty much sit through this. It just doesn't affect me anymore. I'm used to sitting here now for a few hours. But yeah, I mean, it's not just about finding good setups. It's about staying out of bad ones as well, isn't it? Because it's the bad ones that do you the damage, really. So I do seem to be in a good place at the moment. I just hope it continues. But at some point, you know, I spoke about this. You're quite new, aren't you, Nomad? But I spoke about this quite a few times, about the psychological side and the struggles I've had. You know, you can, I mean, if you want to lose some weight and get fit, you go at the gym. And obviously, you know, as you're losing weight and you're building muscle, it's visual, but adapting the brain, you can't really see that, can you? So you just have to assume the fact that the more you expose yourself to these emotions every day, at some point, you're going to get used to them. Then you can't possibly have the same effect in your day in and day out exactly the same way. You know, it doesn't matter what you do in life. Anything you do, which is a bit scary and gets those emotions, if you do the same thing every day, those emotions will become less and less. It's a physical impossibility that they can't. You know, and I've said it before, you jump out of a plane every day, first few times you jump out, you're going to shit your pants for sure. But then you do it again and again and again, and those emotions, it doesn't become scary. You get on a roller coaster and you know what I mean. But you have to sort of expose yourself to those emotions enough times for you to start to get used to them. And, you know, when you get used to them, it stands to reason that you're not going to have that same, you know, reason to jump in and doing cold plunges. Yeah, you're braver than I am, mate. That's one thing. I've jumped out of a plane. I've scuba dived. I've done a few things like that. But I think I'd rather jump out of a plane than jump into a freezing cold lake or something. I'm not good with cold water. I hate cold. I mean, we have a pool in the garden here in the summer. Sounds a bit extravagant, but it's just one of those 12-foot Intex steel frame pools that are, you know, a few £100. And we got a decent sand filter for it. But unless it's like about 26 degrees at least, I don't go near it. There's nothing worse. I find it takes me a lot of confidence to jump into a cold lake. But even doing that, obviously we're warm blooded, we hate the cold, but some people are okay with it. I see people on TikTok and on YouTube getting in, you know, these ice baths. I don't know how they do it. But I mean, if you're just about to plunge into an ice bath, you're going to have emotions, aren't you? But if you do it again and again, day in, day out, those emotions won't affect you the same way. And at some point, you'll get to the stage where you can manage them, and, you know, it doesn't take that time to sort of try and big yourself up before you do it. And trading is no different, really, is it? But the trouble is, because there is so many failures and such a learning curve, I think it's why so many people just give up. This to me now looks like it's going to push up. We've had this overshoot. We've had 2 legs back. We've retested this area. We've come down. We're clearly finding support there. So for me, this looks like it's pushing up. There is a higher low there, but I don't really want to go long right above there. Now, what I will say, there's probably a load of stops there, but I've done that before, and sometimes it'll break above it and then spike back down quickly. There's bound to be some stops above there, so I'm just staying out of this because you think, great, loads of stops, it's going to rocket up, but sometimes it'll shoot up and come back down quick. I used to have a strategy for 1 point risk, 1 point profit, but sometimes it'll shoot up and come back and take you out in a second, because there may be some shorts above this, and as soon as it triggers, you know, the short stops, it might trigger shorts. So I'm just sitting tight at the moment. It'll be interesting to see how far it does go if it pushes above there. So let's put 2 points on there. So let's say a tick above there. Let's see if it does push, how far it goes. We got a leg and a leg. So I would expect this probably to come back a little bit and retest. Okay, we're above that now. Only 1 tick. Not quite as dramatic as I was expecting, but it's only sort of the Pats guys, I think, who tend to put it 1 tick above there. I was expecting a bit more of a push there. Okay, a little bit more there. So I think there's a fair chance we're going up there. That looks like it. Trouble is, leg and a leg, it could get a pullback here, so I will probably expect a bit of a pullback. What would probably be nicer would be a bearish bar to trigger. It does look like 2 legs of correction, a push up, come back and retest this area and then push up. So for me, I think that's likely to continue on up. So, oh no, I don't like that. So maybe something like, I don't know, I'd still like to come back here first, or a bit of sideways or something, but yeah, I'm just sitting tight at the moment. Doesn't fill me full of confidence going long there so far from the EMA, even though this is up. We are quite a distance from that EMA, so it could come back and tag you. Hey, Sam, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, well, the thing is, I mean, we spend most of our time in that sort of emotional state, don't we? And I think sometimes we forget that our skill level is climbing as well. And I suppose as those emotions start to calm and you get used to it, so your skill level climbs, and then I think you hit a point where you tip the balance, where you're thinking, hold on a minute, I've been trading now for a month and a half. My win rate is 90%. I'm confident and happy where I am in my trading, and my emotions are starting to decrease. And I think that's where you get that little sort of surge of belief that actually I'm actually doing this now. And then I think you just try and just to solidify everything. But I've got to say, even going back maybe 12 months, when I was sat in a trade on an evaluation, I felt like my neck was in a vice. Just does not affect me in that way at all now. Not even trading on a PA account. Doesn't affect me like that at all. You know, I've just resigned to the fact that I wait till I see a setup and then I just take it. If it does start to go sideways, which they can always do, then I'll make a decision, you know, down to gut feeling whether I decide to stay in it or I get out. And that's all you can do. And I think when your skill level builds up and you know, those sort of motions aren't affecting you quite as much, I think that's when you start to tip the balance and you start to get some success there. And I think then you think, hold on a minute, everything's working really nice now. And I think then you start to get belief. And I think, from speaking from a personal note, a lot of times where I've got PAs before, straight away I've doubled up to 2 contracts, to 4 contracts quickly, and try to capture a big move. Just try to get lucky to give myself a bit of a head start. And I think the reason I used to do that is because I didn't believe I could get there myself, I feel like I needed a bit of luck or a bit of boost to get me part of the way. I didn't feel like I was confident enough to rely on just my trading alone, but I do feel in a better place. And I've got to say, since I took that break at Christmas, my trading's not as erratic, I don't think. I feel a lot calmer, and I just feel like I've just accepted the fact that I've just got to sit here and take trades if I see them, and then when I don't, walk away, rather than try to battle the market. Trouble is, when you're stressed out all the time and you're anxious and you're frustrated and you've been in a learning curve, it's very hard to calm down, come back down to earth, and restart. And I think that 10 days off I had at Christmas has enabled me to sort of have a bit of a reset, and get rid of some of that frustration out. Same trend now when it popped yesterday. Yeah, Mac doesn't do this, but I definitely think there's something in there. Yeah, you're not far away there. So yeah, I think it's like this does look like it's going to have a good push up. I have to say, touch, close enough. Well, actually, you could. Yeah, I think there's a good chance of that. Trouble is, on here, as we've had a little break, I'd expect a pullback here. So I don't really want to get in just yet. I'd rather give this chance. We don't want to log yet. This could still come. Absolutely, yeah. So I want this to have a pullback and continue, because we're far away from the EMA now where I'd expect one. And if it does come back with a couple of legs and I think it's going to push on, then maybe I'll be thinking about going longs. But we've got this leg and leg. We're not a million miles from here. But after that overshoot, what I think was an overshoot, we got 2 legs of correction. We've come back up. And whether you think that's a channel, we've made 2 pushes down. We seem to be bottoming there, and we've had a pull. We've moved up. We've come back, and we've tested that line. We haven't come down the bottom, and it does seem to be pushing up. So I think the prognosis for continuing up, I think, is probably good, but still got to wait for a good setup and let it to come down a little bit. Oh, shoot, what the fuck was that? Apex threatened me with an account suspension if I don't remove they claim you lying. Oh, flipping hell. Have they given you a reason? Have they why? Because I noticed, I think it was Chris Childers put yesterday, they send you an email, check your emails, because they send you an email out to say why. I don't know how they can say threaten you with a suspension if you don't take a review down. It kind of seems a little bit like bully boy tactics. They say I break the consistency rule. Without sort of looking at your trades, it's hard to tell, but from what I saw yesterday, I don't know. What have they told you to do? Just continue to trade a bit longer. You posted my profit. Yeah, you graph. I just don't understand why. I got no answer, really. I don't know what to suggest. They're saying account suspension if you don't take your review down. I got no answer, really, bud. It is frustrating when you put the money in and you do the work. There are other prop firms, yeah, but the trouble is, by the sounds things, you've still got money in your PA account, so you don't want to get rid of that, do you? All I can say is just try and trade a bit longer until the next payout. Where are we now? The next payout request is between the 1st and the 5th. Just continue to trade and then put a request in between the 1st and the 5th and see what they come back. If they come back again, then I think it's fair for you to maybe email them again and ask it to be taken maybe up a level to, you know, someone maybe a little bit more senior, and just say, look, can you review my account again, please, because it's happened twice. So I would just continue to trade up until the next request day, and then put a request out again and see what they say again. I mean, you don't really want to fall out with them as such, because if they do suspend you, it won't help you. So I would just continue to, where are we now? We're only a week away, between the 1st and the 5th, and then put another request in. I'd take it down, because if they do, there's no reason why they can't suspend you. If they do, you're knackered. You know, you've lost your money. So just put a request in. Take it down, put a request in. How come they threaten someone to change their review? I don't know how they can do that. I don't know how they can do that. Just maybe try and email them again and just say, look, you know, I'm a fair guy. I put a Trustpilot comment because I believe I've been treated unfairly. Can you escalate this to maybe a manager or a supervisor and give me a little bit more feedback as to why? I'd work with them, because you don't want to go against them, because you don't want your account suspended. That's not going to do you any favours. So I'd email them again and just ask maybe to put through to someone maybe a little bit more senior and ask you to review it again. But just, you know, all the pleases and thank yous, and be polite about it. I temporarily take it down and then email them and say, look, my money was refused. As far as I'm concerned, I fit within all the rules. I put a review on there. I've been told that if I don't take it down, so I'll take it down, but I politely request you review my trades again, please. So we'll try and work with them and see how you get on, but let me know. But I'd probably remove it temporarily, because if they do suspend you, any money you've got on your account, you're definitely not going to get. You've already took it down, yeah. But I definitely email them and say, look, you know, be polite about it. You know, you never get anywhere with being over the top, but be polite about it and just say, look, as far as I'm concerned, my average is this, my best day is this, I've traded for this long. As far as I'm concerned, I've followed all the rules, I've checked the rules. Now, I put a comment on there because I was unhappy. But I've removed it, and I politely request you review my payment request and give me a little bit more feedback, because if I am doing something that I'm not seeing, I'm never going to progress unless you give me correct feedback. Just saying you're not consistency might not quite give you the answers you need. You know, without seeing exactly what you're doing, it's hard to tell. I don't know whether they have some sort of software that flags up any type of trading which is a little bit unorthodox. Doesn't mean it's bad. You know, at the end of the day, if a trader makes money, it doesn't matter what strategy you're using. So just politely email, say you've removed the comment, but I request a bit more feedback in you to review it. Just let us know how they get on. They didn't respond to my email yet. They can take a couple of days. There have been problems with Rhythmic, so they're probably backed up a little bit. So just give them a couple of days. If not, email them again. But ask for some more feedback and ask them to review. As long as you're nice and polite, they should get back to you. You know, they don't want any bad press or bad publicity. So just work with them. What was your profit biggest? I think, what was it? Was your profit about? It was within the 30% rule. I think, was it $900 your biggest day? See, if you had one $900 and the rest were $150, they may say, well, hold on a minute. But, you know, some people, they use runners. Some people, you'll get a massive runner. You know, I don't take runners personally. 990 was your biggest day. So 990, so you're within the 30% rule there. So what had you done? 10 days. So you'd done basically $2,500 or $2,400 over the remaining 9 days, which is about, what, $200 a day on average, isn't it? Yeah. I don't quite understand there. 150 to 300 with 1,900. The trouble is, if you use runners, most of the time, you know, runners won't really give you anything, but now and again, you might get a really good move. And at the end of the day, if you get a good move, any trader worth his salt will capitalize on it as much as possible. You don't want to go, oh, I'm going to come out now at $600 because it might break the consistency. It doesn't make sense. I mean, they have the consistency rule to stop people trying to hit the big time and get lucky, because we can all jump in there on a PA and go for 10 contracts and try and hit $3,000 and then go on to a micro. So as long as you're not swapping, you know, as long as you're not trying to hit it big time. But if they say you've broken the consistency rule on that $900 over the 10 days, it might just mean trade 11 days. So if I was you, keep on with your email, but I would just continue to trade. You're above that $2,600. Just keep your risk sensible, and then continue to trade to after the 1st of February, which is only a week away, and then put in another payment request and see what happens then. Because I believe, or I'm of the understanding, that if something's not right with consistency, they just tell you to keep trading. So in other words, you know, if you have broken the 30% rule or some other rule they have, keep trading a bit longer. And then just keep us updated how you get on. Yeah, but that's what I mean. So Baby Squid's got a point there. I mean, you may have. It's hard to tell, really. I mean, you may have shot up and won $2,000 and then lost, $1,300 and ended up with that. It's hard to say, really. Yeah, it's a bit hard to say, without really knowing the ins and outs of it. But people are going to try and pull the wool over their eyes. There's no doubt, no two ways about it. People are going to try and get lucky and flip an account to try and get lucky. And as a company, obviously they gotta keep an eye on that, because they don't want to be giving thousands away to people who are, trying to sort of, abuse the system. So, I absolutely get why they've got these things in place. But, after a brief look at your chart, I couldn't see anything that I would say stood out. But, just be polite. Keep on top of that email, and then if anything, just say, look, if you think I'm doing something wrong, give me a little bit more feedback, because if you don't know what you've done wrong, you don't know what to correct. So just keep on top of the email, but work with them and just be polite. If you start, losing your temper or something with them, they'll cut you off and you won't be any further. But until then, I would just continue to trade daily, as steadily as you can, and then put another payment request in. But, they're not unreasonable, Apex, but you can understand they probably have a lot of people trying to get lucky and trying to, abuse the system. So I'm absolutely, not suggesting you have. But, sometimes I suppose these bits of software that flag up there could catch out sort of genuine people. So, but keep us updated how you get on. So this to me looks like we're continuing on up. So let's put that there. Maybe that's a spiking channel. So let's come from there to there. Maybe something like that. Sideways. Ooh, I don't know at the moment. He says you're not consistent. Have you posted it on the Apex? Have you posted it on the Apex Discord? Post it on there and just say, post it on the Discord, but post it on the Apex one, because I know for a fact Chris and Vince, the moderators, they both work for Apex. Just say, respectfully, if there's any moderators in, could you just look at this? Because I've been refused a payment. They said it's not consistent. Can you just help me out with a little bit of feedback? You post it there. I post it again. Post it again. Ask for a little bit of feedback. Just say, Apex haven't told me exactly what's wrong, but just say, if I'm doing something wrong, could someone give me a little bit of feedback? You can only try, can't you? I definitely try. But don't worry about losing your money. They might just make you trade another month, but without knowing exactly how you trade, it's hard to make a comment, really. But I would absolutely just post it again on the forum and just say, look, any chance I can get a bit of feedback? Does this look, within the rules to you? Because, but as long as you're polite and friendly, as long as you're polite and friendly, then they shouldn't have any issues with that. It's okay to ask and question these things as long as it's, you're friendly and polite. They're not unreasonable, Apex. I've spoken to Chris Childers, who has said that Daryl is a stand-up guy. So, there's nothing wrong with asking for feedback. 2 legs back, push up, pull back, push up, pull back. It probably won't show, Sam, I don't think. I'm talking about the Apex one, by the way, because I know there's some Apex people on there now. You might not be able to see you because I don't think, if you're not actually live, I don't think it shows up, does it? I'm not sure, actually. I'm not what you would call a Discord mega tech person. Okay, excuse me, just for 1 minute. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, post it again. Just ask for a bit of feedback. See what people say. 2 legs back. Yeah, there is a possibility we could be sort of working like this. It's hard to say at the moment. Be careful we don't get caught out with this. Yeah, I'm just not taking a long trade here at the moment because this could come down for another leg. We've had a channel break new high. This could come down for another leg. I'd like to think it's going to continue up, but may not. Interesting. There is definitely some support along there. No two ways about it. We could come back to this side. It's hard to say at the moment. This could have a leg down. Certainly could. Trouble is, it's congested, isn't it? When we had this last bit of congestion, we came down. Same again when we had this bit of congestion, we did come down. So I think this is likely it's going to come down, but I'd like to see it here. At the moment, it's a bit sideways. So it could trigger below there and push up. Just a quick question, Bud. How many trades do you take a day, roughly? On that PA account you're on about, how many trades, roughly, would you say you're taking in a day? Per day? One to two. Yeah, see, that just says patience to me, and yeah, I don't get that. I can't quite say. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Yeah, that sounds like sensible trading to me. Yeah, strange. This looks like it may be pushing on up. If we can get a higher low here. Touch. Let's just back it. So we've got a channel down there, we've got a break, a new low. It's actually technically a second entry long. I'd like to see a higher low, really. Looking for a higher low, leg, higher low. Let's just get rid of that. No setup there, really. There's nothing you can really do with that. It does look like it's working up, but I was hoping we'd get a bit of a maybe a high low here. Dear me. This is getting a bit slow, isn't it? How long have we been going for? 3 hours. I might knock on the head in 5 minutes. Let's just see what happens. So 2 legs up, come back. Nice bullish bar, high low. It's worked out right, that. Bit of an overshoot. 2 legs of correction. Does look like it's going higher. Trouble is, it's just pushed up. There's no setup really there, unfortunately. It looked like it was going to push higher, but then when that pushed up, that didn't. It was too late. There's nothing you can really do there. Very close to that measured move. So a bit of an odd day today. Not a huge amount of setups around. There's nothing else I can really see. I still stand by that one. I think that was okay. 2 legs up. Nice big bullish bar. Clearly touching. High, low. Worked out fine. Same again. Not a huge amount of setups. Just lots of chop. Certainly not be interested to see what other people think. There's a possible failure there. Second entry long and a failure. I don't know whether anybody will trigger that or mark that, because you could say, really, if we're looking at maybe a range, it's a failure, which did work. The trouble is, you're going short into those lows, so you just don't know it's going to pop out and turn, because after 2 legs of correction, for me, it's likely to go up, so I don't really want to go short there, but some might. We'll say so. Let's just give it 5 more minutes. See if we can get down here a couple of legs. Hopefully get close to this bottom. Two legs back. Yeah, actually that was a nice place to go along there. So 2 legs of correction. 2 clear legs back. Nice big bullish bar. You can see where that worked. That is leg up. 2 legs of correction. Nice entry, actually, to be fair. And you could even say 1, 2, 3 triple test, and off it went. So trouble is, I don't trade the NQ, so it didn't quite look the same here. It was much more congested here. It was a bit more clear there, and we didn't have that. We had that nice bullish bar there. We didn't really hear. We had a bit of a doji, so it's not the type of place you want to go long, really. Who knows anyway. So we're close to this measured leg. Are we going to push up and hit it? Oh, we're actually on it. We've already hit it. Have we not quite? Well, I mean, it's close enough, isn't it? Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is go long up here. So that's it for me today, folks. So, bit of an odd day, bit of a slightly frustrating day. Lots of congestion, lots of chop, but I managed to get a higher low there, so it's not all bad. So 24 for the first, 24. Yes. So yeah, quick 150 times 2, nice $300 for the day, so I'm happy with that. That'll do me nicely. So leg up, 2 legs back, leg up. Yeah, we've hit that measured move now. Yeah, right to the nearest tick, so happy days. So it did what it was supposed to, so NQ. So there you go, another day, Wednesday done and dusted. Let me know how you get on there, bud, about that, okay? But try and work with them. I know it's frustrating, but try and work with them and see what they get. But you want feedback. If you're doing something wrong, you need to know about it. So I can't see if you're taking 1 or 2 trades a day, because at the end of the day, sometimes we have a big move. You know, if you take a runner and you maybe get a point or 2 every time, and occasionally you get a big move, you'd be daft as a trader not to capitalise on that. So just keep us updated. Let us know how you get on. But 1 trade, So my it's all right. Oh, sorry. I was just going to open this. I don't know if you guys have these, but I'll show you what I do to update these. So what I'm going to do is just bring my NinjaTrader, what do you call this? Whatever it is. If I click on executions and right click there and click export, and I click this low one, that will save a file so I can load it into my, so I'll show you quickly. So make sure everything's shut, no crosses there, nothing there, nothing there, nothing's moving there, everything's shut. So I'm just going to shut down my NinjaTrader and I'm going to open up quickly so you can see my, let's shut that. So you can see my my trade journal. So how I do it. So you saw me right click and save that. So Trader Sync, I have got a discount code if you do decide to have a go at that, but you can use it free for I think a week or two just to give it a go, but it does keep track of all your trades if the damn thing opens. Let's give that another go. Trader Sync. Why aren't you opening? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Why aren't you opening? That's unusual. First time it's never opened. Trader Sync. Select. Okay. Okay, scrub that for now. Then I'm not sure why that's not opening. I'll have to have a look at that. I'll show you tomorrow anyway, but it's pretty simple. You just open it up, click import trades, select the file, click select, and it brings your trades in, all the information, everything. So anyway, there you go. So we have got this. Let me just open that back up, otherwise you're not going to see that. We have got the 80% off, just in case you're unaware. Try it again quickly. We have got the 80% off. And only 1 day needed to pass, whether it takes 3 days or 4 days or whatever, but you only need 1 day. That is on until the 29th. So I think Sunday, is it Sunday? Something like that. So if you are interested in that, my code's down there as usual, UKFT in capital letters. If you use it or you have used it, it is appreciated. So that is me done for today. So I appreciate all your comments. I don't know why that's not opening, but I'll show you again maybe tomorrow. So I'll be here same time tomorrow. So if you're carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope you get a setup, but failing that, have a great evening. Stay safe. Keep me updated about that, how it goes, about your payment there. But work with them, and hopefully they'll give you a bit more feedback so you can, if you've got to correct something, you've got to correct it. But there's no point if they don't tell you why. So just keep us updated. And we'll see how you get on, but best of luck with that. So I'll be back same time tomorrow, so have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.